It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And it's 7 p.m. in the Big Apple. Hello, everybody. MadDog the Scipio, joined as I am each and every week by the mouth of the South herself, Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, Amelia?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing today? Everything good?
Doing great. Yes. Except a lot of rain here.
You're the only female in a bunch of a group of, I don't know, call us rednecks. You can call me a redneck because I literally am. I'm like lobster red. I fell asleep out in the sun on Saturday.
Oh no!
And my face matches my shirt. Tonight, a very, very special episode with a very special cast. Tonight, we paid tribute to one of my favorite movies of all time. In fact, it's a record holder of sorts. It's one of the largest grossing films of all time, Smokey and the Bandit. Tonight, we are joined by the cast of Eastbound and Down, the ultimate Smokey and the Bandit tribute. Let me introduce the guys. First up, playing the character of Junior is Mr. Jason Bobbitt. Jason, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Let me ask you a question, Jason, right off the bat. Your opinion, because you've been doing this for a little bit now. How has this film affected pop culture over the years?
Affected a lot of different ways. A lot of different groups of people. A lot of people can relate to the movie. A lot of policemen. It seems like every policeman we've talked to seems to know a Buford T. Justiceson. A lot of the truckers relates to a lot of the truckers as far as the CB radio goes. That was big. That was real big back then.
Brother, they sold more CB radio.
Damn, absolutely right. They had their own lingo back then.
Yeah, that was something I want to talk to Buford and Bandit about. Let me introduce your daddy. That would be Sean Bailey as Sheriff Buford T. Justice. Sean, welcome back.
Well, it's good to be back, and it's good to be seen here.
It's good to have you, my friend. So let's talk about that. You heard Jason mentioned the CB radio business, the boom and CB sales, the lingo. I didn't even know up until that point that truckers had their own kind of language.
Oh yeah, those truckers they keep that CB hot with all that CB handle jive.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of all that, to be honest with you. I just thought, hey, breaker, move the fuck over. I'm coming through, And that was about it. That's as much CB as I ever knew. But there's one more guy here. He is, I guess he's the guy that everybody, everybody really is kind of wrapped around this one young man named Tim Phillips. He is the Bandit. Because you wouldn't have Smokey and the Bandit without the Bandit. So let's talk to Mr. Tim Phillips. How are you, Tim? Tim, are you there?
I don't think he can hear you.
Tim can't hear you. Oh, there you go. Can you hear us, Tim?
He probably has us on mute.
Yeah. Can somebody get a message to Tim? He can't hear us, apparently. Tim, can you hear me? Tim, are you able to hear me? He can't hear. He can't hear.
He's talking.
Hold on, Tim. We're going to get somebody's going to call you. Maybe we get Sean to give you a call. But in the meantime, I'll tell you what. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to Jason while we're trying to get. Where'd Jason go?
Uh-oh.
There he is. There's Jason. I tell you, Jason, I'm going to bring you up here while we're trying to get a hold of Tim because evidently he's got. Yeah, he just popped out and he may have to come back in.
Okay.
So, and I know Sean got up because he's probably calling him right now. He's going, your microphone ain't working, dummy.
Yeah.
Barrel of monkey nuts.
Hush puppies, Daddy.
There's no way.
There he
No
is.
way.
All right,
Here you
Jason, let
now.
me bring Tim back. Let me bring Tim back up.
Hey,
Right.
I hear you now.
There you go.
Man.
I gave you this great build-up, and you
Well, I was,
petered out on me there, brother.
I was just like something Bert would do.
Yeah,
I was running from the Buford there. You showed Buford, I took off.
Exactly. So let's talk about the bandit and how you became the bandit. I've seen photos of you,
Right.
old photos of you,
Okay.
when meeting Burt Reynolds as a fan, as a younger guy.
Yep.
How did you embody the character of the bandit, and was it just a gift from God that you happened to be born with his face and his voice?
No, it was definitely a fan, just blessed that I got to meet Bert. And, they say never meet your heroes, but he was such an impact on me after I met him. We hung out all day that day we was filming in 2006 in those old photos you've seen. And we just shot the bull and had a good time. And the producer of the show's the one that brought it up, Bud Brunsman, who does overhauling and stuff like that. He said, Tim, I'm taking these pictures of you and Bert walking around. I swear to God, you could pass for his son. I joked and laughed it off, and then we went somewhere else, and he did it again, and I joked and laughed it off, and then me and Bert had to go out into a field to do a shot, and so he told Bert when Bert threw his arm around me to do that shot, he said, Bert, I've been giving Tim heck all day long saying he looks like your son. He looked at me, he said, where was you born? I said, Florida. He said, you could be my son. So it went on from then on, and then he grabbed me after the show and said, hey, I'm serious about it. He said, I do a magazine, Hot Rod Magazine, and I do Hot Rod TV. He said, if you'll get a red shirt and a cowboy hat, he said, and shave up, do the little mustache, because I had a goatee then. And nobody was doing the porn mustache in 2006. So, yeah, he said, I'll put you on Hot Rod TV and Hot Rod Magazine. And it fell into place. And so.
Isn't that remarkable? I love the fact that success stories still happen, and they happen to good people. Let's talk, Sean. I want to talk to you a little bit more. I want to get into to really like the nuts and bolts of who Sean Bailey is and how you came to embody Sheriff Buford T justice. People are going to see a video tonight. You guys are going to see lots of video tonight. One of the videos they're going to see, Sean, is a younger Sean Bailey as Joliet Jake Blues from the Blues Brothers.
Oh, wow.
So you've been around a long time. You've been performing a long time. You've also been a celebrity impersonator / lookalike for a very long time. How did you get into this, and what was your first character?
Well, let me break Buford T justice here and bring Sean Bailey in for just a moment. So that would go back to, man, I started in radio and was doing voices for commercials for, just my regular radio show, which then turned into a passion for being a teenager, a passion for cars and music. And I just loved the Blues Brothers. It was something that you didn't see a lot of people doing at the time, and ended up vacationing in Florida to Universal Studios, a little visit there, and seeing the Blues Brothers tribute show that they put on throughout the day at the park. And it was like, I love this. This was like living the dream,
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
fast forward for a few years, ended up doing a talent contest with a cousin, and we did the Blues Brothers and had a lot of fun with it. So it was kind of like you cut me and I bleed Blues Brothers, So it turned into a thing of doing the Blues Brothers tribute and just having a good time and paying tribute to John Belushi, and just admired his acting ability. And then fast forward many years, and I've always had some type of classic car, some type of hot rod. I've had Dukes of Hazzard cars. I had a Trans Am years ago and sold it, and it was like we had built General Lee's, go and what am I trying to say? Bluesmobiles, Chicago police cars,
sure.
Arkansas State Trooper cars, and stuff.
Absolutely.
And it turned into, man, I want to do another Smokey and the Bandit type thing. So got a Trans Am, found it, and Tim just happened to be, Tim's in Atlanta area, and he's going out doing the Smokey and the Bandit type tribute thing there for Bert, and he needed a Trans Am for a show in Missouri, and man, that was only about an hour away from where I'm at, so
right.
I hit him up and said, man, I've got a Trans Am if you need to use it, and then it just kind of snowballed from there into coming out and having fun as Buford. The other gentleman that was doing Buford, he wasn't able to do it as much and as often as he wanted to. He's a great guy, highly respect him, and he kind of had to step out of it for a little bit, and I come in, and Tim and I joined up for some shows, and our chemistry together worked well for a Bandit and Buford to
it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And then that's where it ended up.
Remarkable. Did you ever do Sean? Did you ever do the Legends in Concert circuit?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you ever work with Steve McCoy?
I know Steve. Yeah.
I went
Steve
to high
was a
school
great
with.
guy.
I grew up with Steve in the same town. He's a very dear friend of mine, and I kind of knew that you worked with him. I threw that. But first of all, if you worked for Legends, you know who Steve is.
Oh yeah.
He's probably the greatest Tom Jones impersonator in the world.
He's an icon.
Bar none. Bar none. So I grew up with him in the same time. It's just funny, small world. So I want to bring Tim back in over here. Tim, now that we got your ears working, everything's all good. So
now come back. You got peanut butter some in your ears?
There you go. So you got this remarkable chemistry with Sean. You kind of favor Bert heavily, and you sound like him. It's remarkable how you sound like him. So when did you realize that maybe you guys had some money in the bank here?
Well, probably the first show we actually did together. I mean, as soon as we came out with the car and me as Bert and him and as Buford, I mean, we automatically got a response from the fans immediately. And we did a 12-mile truck show, and I mean, the fans just went crazy. So yeah, the chemistry was there. We knew pretty much. Me and him both looked at each other and said, "Wow, we've got something here."
Interesting stuff. It really is. It's fascinating. Because we're going to talk to Jason here in a second, and we're going to put all this together.
We would shoot the lines back and forth. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like talking to a girl that you can relate to, right? When you're trying to date somebody. Not like trying to date Buford, but I'd say things, he'd say things, and it just worked. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you and Buford are a cute couple, so shut up.
We've been together 47 years. We ought to be.
All right, there you go.
So Jason grabbing his ass all the way.
Exactly. And he ain't kidding when he says tail grabbing his ass. Jason Bobbitt is up. Now you play one of the most, I think, one of the most beloved characters, aside from Snowman, and we're going to talk about Snowman in a second. Junior he's a lovable lug. God bless him. He's just as dumb as a tree stump, puts up with all kinds of shit from his daddy. But when Junior speaks, which is not often, but when he does, out rolls some beautiful gems. What are some of your favorite Juniorisms?
I would have to say I respect Mike Henry quite a bit for being able to keep a straight face as much as he did back then in the movie. To be able to sit in the car with Jackie Gleason and hear Jackie spout off is amazing. Some of my favorite ones is Hush Puppy, the Hush Puppy's daddy. Hush Puppy's daddy. That one's a good one. Anytime we're sitting around and someone's, we're thinking about something and it's a good idea, he's a level, like you said. I had to rewatch the movie. Being a fan, I had to rewatch the movie and watch Junior, watching in a way that I've never had to watch the movie before, to see his characteristics and what he did.
And that's what I want to talk about. It's the subtle nuances of Junior. Mike Henry is. People don't understand how brilliant an actor you have to be to downplay, like Jason said, to downplay working with Jackie Gleason, who everything that rolls out of his mouth is fucking funny. Okay?
Absolutely.
Everything that rolls out of that man's mouth is hilarious. And to sit there with a poker face and not crack up or laugh takes a lot of discipline as an actor and willpower, believe it or not.
Absolutely.
When you're sitting there, you want to laugh. I mean, you're in the presence of the guy they called the Great One, and he was called the Great One for a reason. He was good. He was that damn good.
We do a lot of driving back and forth in between the shows and stuff, and just to be able to listen to Sean spout off the lines, and we're sitting in the car, and being a fan of the movie myself, being a huge fan, it's hard sometimes trying to keep a straight face when he spouts off a line. What is this, a drive-in movie? I have to keep a straight face.
Oh, we got some outtakes of Sean. We're going to hear some of those that quick wit. Amelia.
Yes.
You are the only female on this panel tonight. You are up, young lady.
Yes.
I'm going to throw you to the wolves. Have at it.
Oh, goodness. My question would be, I know that the last time you guys were trying to cast the snowman, have you guys cast anybody for that role yet?
That's one of the things that's really a hard character to find. The Jerry Reed character, the way that Jerry played the part is just it's beyond amazing. He was a high energy person, and just the way that he played that part and being such high energy, I don't know if there is anybody out there that could play tribute to him and do it in the way that Jerry did.
Right.
Yeah.
We've talked about it.
It is a critical part, though. It really is, Sean.
It is.
And so at some point, it will probably have to be addressed. I'm sure a number of people have come forward to you and Tim and Jason and said, "Where's Snowman?"
He's picking up a load of manure in Conyers.
Every show.
He's gonna be away for a while.
Well, Tim, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I'm gonna bring you up here.
All right.
So the character of Snowman, Bandit and Snowman, had this brotherhood relationship.
Correct.
So, and it's critical to the overall performance, in my opinion. It's like it's like serving a 6-course dinner, but you only got 5 courses to serve. Do you run out and find a 6th course, or do you serve a glass of water as the 6th course? So the point is, at some point, there's going to have to be Snowman.
Yeah,
Um,
we've not turned anybody down. The thing is, we've not had anybody that stepped up and could play that part. So it's not like
that's just as remarkable.
yeah. So
That's
the thing,
really remarkable to me.
Right.
the snowman, you got me and Jason and Sean playing our parts as best that we can, and we do a pretty dang good job. But so the snowman can't just be coming in there and just wearing the clothes. He's got to be that energy. He's got to have he's got to have the love for Smokey the Bandit like we do. And those characters.
Sure.
So, we not only do these, we actually love the movie and we love the characters and respect the characters. So, it's hard to find somebody that's got that kind of time, devotion, and all the talent. So, when we have shows where, we do have a girl that steps up every once in a while, Mandy, and does Frog, and she does a great job, but she can't do it full time either. It's a full time gig to fly around and do these shows.
Sure, absolutely. Well, let's talk about that. In fact, I'm going to start with you, and we'll go around the horn. When you guys do a Smokey and the Bandit run, and let's talk in terms of what is a Smokey run. Where does it start? Where does it emanate? Where does it conclude? Is it from city to city? Is it a multi-day event? How does a Smokey eastbound and down run commence?
It's all in the promoter. So the promoter calls us and tells us what he's got in mind. We tell him what we can do, and we kind of work it out in between. So
got it. Interesting. Very interesting.
So it's 1 day show, 2 day show, 3 day show. We can do several different things. He also, the promoter will decide whether, he wants the truck there, just the car there, just just this character, that character. So everything's got to be budgeted and planned out accordingly. Then when we know who's going to be there, then we try to figure out what skit we can pull, what shows we can do, and how we can entertain the crowd best with what we got.
Interesting. It's very different than what I imagined. I thought it was going to be something like a set show, kind of like a traveling circus. They got certain acts they take on the road with them, and they set up shop here and they set up shop here, but it's the same show. But with you guys, you're saying, no, it's not the same show. It's whatever they want it to be.
Yeah, a lot of the same stuff's there. You'll get the characters, you'll get the cars. You will get a skit. It may depend on which characters you have to do the skits and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on what's available and what we can do. It also depends on what the law allows us to do in that town.
Well, let's talk about that. That's a real good point, Tim. Sean, let's talk about the law. Let me go to the lawman here. Right. Let's talk about that. Tim brings up a good point. That you have to go into various municipalities and abide by their local laws. Has a situation arisen where you guys may have treaded upon local jurisdiction, got yourself in trouble maybe once or twice?
No, actually, I can honestly say that when we go in, prior to us going in, normally the promoter will contact the local agencies to let them know that there is a Smokey the Bandit tribute coming to town. It's eastbound and down. And it very surprisingly, a lot of them know who we are. They're already familiar with us. So we proudly support all the men and women of law enforcement, and we'll abide by any laws or anything. But also when we do go into the different areas, we're going out, and we're not going to really, as you would say, break any laws. We did a show in here just recently in Gallatin, Tennessee, and the police department actually shut down the roadway for us so we could do a 15-minute skit that just happened to be in front of the event center that we were doing the show.
That's beautiful.
We've also up in Helen, Georgia, had the same thing where they shut the roadway down so we could recreate a scene of the Trans Am coming into an area that was used in the movie. So
Yeah.
it was really cool. We've had them actually join in and help with the pursuit. We've had well, I don't want to give away too much information on it just because of the
Oh,
excitement
sure.
that was
Well,
involved in it.
that's why it actually serves you well that you can give away all the information you want, and it's still going to be whatever show that area promoter wants it to be. So,
Right.
you got a certain amount of information you can play with, and a lot you literally keep under your hat.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a show that unfortunately that I missed last year, and Jason and Tim last minute notice because I was unable to be there. They got in touch with local law enforcement, and they were very excited to come out and be a part of a pursuit. And as they are pursuing the bandit, I guess some marshals were there and were able to apprehend a criminal. So,
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
it really looked like it was a part of the show. So,
That's
there was some
beautiful.
excitement there.
I love it. Let me bring up. I'm going to bring up Jason over here. Jason, you're the quiet one of the group here. But I've been trolling your Facebook here a little bit lately. I'm perusing your pictures. Junior's he's the shy, quiet, strong, silent type. But apparently this Junior gets the girls. So,
It depends on the location.
well,
But I am happily married, so.
Well, I'm saying that because I'm looking around and there are a lot of women around you getting autographs and having you sign parts of their shirt.
Yeah,
Say that. Parts of their shirt.
we've signed quite a bit.
So, and I know that you're married, and I'm not going to promise you I will not get you in trouble with the wife. She's a good guy.
She's there. She sees it all.
Because remember, there was a Mrs. Bobbitt at one time. There was a Mr. Bobbitt. But we're way ahead of the game now. So.
They made local news, yes.
Yes, absolutely. So, but let me ask you on a serious note. You do a lot of traveling now, and I'm sure there's times when you're spending days at a time away from the family. How does that affect the family life? Does your wife understand it? Does she go with you? What's the situation?
She goes with me just about. I think she's been in almost every show.
Wow, beautiful.
We've got 2 kids. They're grown and out of the house, so it helps to have someone there to support.
Got it made, brother. You got it made. I ain't that lucky.
It helps to have a supportive partner in this.
Still lives in a home.
And we do quite a bit of traveling.
Amelia.
Yes.
Questions for Eastbound and Down.
Yeah. Either one. Either one of you guys. Which is your favorite scene to do?
For me, recently, up until recently, it was the Diablo sandwich scene. That was a blast to do. Every time we have done it, we do it in one take. Unlike the movie that had 10, 15 takes for that scene, we would do it in one take because we've got a live audience there to see it. So
you have to get it right.
Right. So here recently, I was able to use a Chop Top Buford car for one of our reenactment scenes, and just to be able to drive that car that Gene Kennedy of Bandit Movie Cars supplied for us to use for that show, was just amazing. So here coming up, our next show, we'll have a chop top that we're currently building to be able to go along on the circuit with us. So for me, I would say it is now going to be the any of the chop top driving scenes, because we go from chasing Tim the Bandit in the Trans Am with the hardtop car, and then we duck out, around a building or something, and then the next thing you see is here we come in the chop top, and we lost the top. So, Duck, are you gonna be talking out your ass?
And then put it in the back. And it was in the back seat. That was funny.
Well, I'll tell you what, Amelia. I will continue with you, Amelia. Right after this commercial break. We will be right back right after this.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
And become your own boss.
build it on Shopify.
You've made iHeartRadio the fastest growing music app in the U.S. Why? Because we connect you to all of your favorite music and radio stations in one free app. And this fall, prepare to take control of how you listen to the radio.
Replay.
That song on your radio you just can't hear enough? Immediately replay and sing along again.
Save.
Save the music you love on the radio directly to your playlist.
Play.
Search for and play any song on demand.
Skip.
Unlimited skips.
Offline.
Take the music from your favorite stations offline. Introducing iHeartRadio Plus and iHeartRadio All Access. Your radio now on demand.
We are back with What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. I am the MadDog, Angelo DeCipio, joined as I am each and every week by Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. Tonight, a very special look at a very special film, Eastbound and Down, the ultimate Smokey the Bandit tribute. When last we were up, Amelia, you were center stage. Questions, young lady.
Yes. I was going to ask, I guess, either one of you guys want to answer the question as well, which was your favorite scene?
I can go ahead.
Yeah.
Bring me up. So my favorite scene, since I'm the bandit guy, is any scene with the Trans Am, because I like to show off.
Yep.
I'm a true show off person anyway. So if I'm in the Trans Am, it's going to be on. And Sean and Jason will approve of this message, because there's been a many a time I've told them we're going to do one lap around the show, and they wind up doing 3 laps because I get in bandit mode and I can't stop. And so they're like, here it goes. Here it goes. So anytime I'm in the Trans Am, whether it's the Ready Roy scene, the sorry I don't want to get married scene, or, they haven't let me jump the bridge yet. That's the only one.
No.
Oh, man.
But I would do it.
We're going to actually see that scene later on, actually. We're going to take a look at that scene later on. I'll tell you what, Tim, this is a great segue, actually. Let's take a look at some news footage. I believe this is from Smoking the Bandit Day in Joplin, Missouri. Let's take a look. So now, I actually have somebody here in our chat. Your random PAO says, I've been to 3 of their shows, 2 Bandit runs, and the Sometimes in Kentucky show. Always a great time, and they always put on a great show. Let's talk about that. Do shows vary? Either of you, anybody who wants to answer, do shows vary upon location and geographical distance? Can you do more in a rural area than you can in a, let's say, a more citied area?
Yeah, it kind of depends on the room. The room that we have to do the skits. More room we've got, the more we can play with. Also, as long as the crowd is participating. So sometimes the crowd likes to get in there and get close. So sometimes we've got to ask the local law enforcement to back them up.
That's a great segue. Boy, that's a great segue, Jason. Have you guys ever, and you can answer this too, Jason. I want you to answer, and then we'll go around. Have you ever been in too close a proximity to a fan where they thought maybe they were part of the show?
No, we've had a couple instances where people like to get too close to the cars while we're sitting, taking pictures or something like that. But no, as far as that goes, for the most part, everybody stays pretty clear, especially with the help of any of the local police departments. So
yeah, you work heavily with law enforcement, don't you, Jason?
We do every town we go to. Where law enforcement is right there with us.
Tim, let's talk about that. This is it's not your usual traveling show. You have to be aware of traffic laws, people around you, super aware of your surroundings for sure. Being the charismatic character of the Bandit, are there people, particularly the women around, who don't know that this is a show?
I have had them get caught up into the show, and they step in a little bit too far out into the road kind of situation. And everybody says, "What are you going to do when somebody keeps easing out?" And I said, "Well, when a car's running 55 mile an hour, hopefully they'll move." But most time we haven't had any issues other than they get, like Jason said, they kind of they get caught up in the moment, and they find themselves walking toward us like they're magnetically pulled toward the scene. And so
that's interesting. Do you use the same girl to play Frog?
Yeah, pretty much. We use the same. Mandy Smith's her name, so give her a shout out. She's not here with us tonight, but yeah, she's played Frog. She does a great job. She nails it every time, and she's a big fan too, so that helps.
How difficult was it to find someone that was willing to play Frog?
Well, what happened was she was actually Miss Firebird Fest up there when Sean was sick that time and wasn't able to make it. And so we needed another character, and I called her knowing that she was already kind of a performer because she was already Miss Firebird Fest, so she was good with crowds and people. And that's what you got to have to play these characters, because you're going to stand there and take pictures for hours with people, and you got to smile and smile and smile and smile, and have a good time. And you got to have somebody that's prepared to do that. You can't just pull any person off the assembly line there and say, "Hey, can you stand here for hours and smile for these people?" You got to kind of be groomed for that kind of stuff. And so, I called her and I said, "We got a situation where we're down a character and want a main character." I said, "It would be great if we could introduce you as Frog." And then me and Jason actually went out to dinner that night with his wife, Heather, and found the local police to actually get them to come help out. And they were more willing. I mean, we walked over to the table, and I was already in bandit mode, not like dressed, but in the mustache and, everything else mode. And I walked over, and the guy says, "Holy cow, I need to get a picture with you." And I said, "Before that, though, we need something really quick." Explained to him that we was down a Buford, and they said, "Hey, you're talking to the police chief and the captain, so we got you." And I don't know if they already had this bus rigged like Sean said, but next thing you know, we had 2 cops chasing us. Jason rode one of the cops. Mandy Smith rode with me as Frog. We go through the parking lot at Firebird Fest at Gateway Motors, and somebody got arrested at the end of it, and thank goodness it wasn't.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're going to chase criminals, you may as well have fun while you're doing it.
Right. They must have said, "Man,
so let me ask you, here's kind of an off-the-wall question. How many changes of red shirts and blue jeans do you have for this character?
I have 3 that I bring. And
okay.
So
I was going to say, man, because you're wearing the same shit every show.
right.
Every show.
Every show.
So let's take another look. I want to bring Sean up here. I need Sheriff Buford T Justice up here.
Hello
Sheriff,
there.
I need some advice, Sheriff.
I got you.
Spoke to your boy Junior before the show started, and he informs me, Sheriff, that no matter what you do, no matter what you say to him, he loves you so much that he ain't never leaving home.
I thought you were gonna try to throw him under the bus for a second.
No, I would never throw anybody under. So, what have you to say to your son?
Don't threaten me like that, son.
That's beautiful. Let me tell everybody about Eastbound and Down. These amazing characters are incredibly talented individuals. Sean Bailey is a celebrity impersonator, a lookalike, and a dead ringer for Jackie Gleason. He is the ultimate Buford T Justice. Sean Bailey's partner in this endeavor is Mr. Tim Phillips. Tim is the Bandit. He personifies everything Burt Reynolds. He is a Burt Reynolds lookalike, an actor, and a stunt performer, and he travels the road as Bandit. And what is Bandit's real name? Which one thing we never learned in the film, really.
Bo Darvel.
Bo. It was Bo Darvel.
Yep. Bo Darvel.
All right. And of course, as well, an actor, Jason Bobbitt, is a performance artist whose latest incarnation is Junior Buford T. Junior Justice. Junior Buford. Is it Buford? It's Buford Jr. Damn it, I'll get it right. I'll get it right. I swear to God, I'll get it right.
Buford Justice Jr.
Buford
There you
T. Justice Jr. See that? I got you, Jason. I got your ass covered. So let's talk about this a little bit. Amelia, I promised you I wasn't going to steal the show tonight, so I'm going to let you jump in here and ask away. Have at it, and there you go, kid.
Because I was we were talking about the CB handles and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
What's his? I know that you guys did that a lot and everything with the CB handles. What was something that you guys can say something to each other as a CB handle?
Well, my
10-100.
Smokey Bear.
Yeah. Well,
I think I understand what Amelia. Believe it or not, and it's rare, but I do. I understand what Amelia's getting at.
Oh, are you trying to say 10-10 on the side? I'll be 10-10 on the side. That's a CB, some CB slang. We got that.
Yeah, or I got the phone on your back door.
Yeah.
I always wanted
Like
to.
a 10-100?
10-100.
10-100. Thank God it's not 10-200.
Yeah, 10-100 means I got to go take a squirt, right?
Yep. And I just
go take a
patched up the Kojak with a Kodak.
Yeah, Kojak with a Kodak. That was the first time I ever heard that. I'm like, that's fucking brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We're going to take another look. We have another piece of film here. We're going to take a look. And I believe this. We're going to call this this clip "The Dukes Meet Bandit." I think this is Dukes Meet Bandit. Let's take a look.
Look at that, there's a young Barbino. There's a young Barbino. Look
We're just doing stamps and signed photos if you want.
By the way, I got to tell you something. They are, and no bullshit, those guys are the best Dukes of Hazzard lookalikes I've ever seen. And it didn't hurt that you had John Schneider there. That didn't hurt you at all. But those guys were great.
Yeah.
I want to bring Tim up in this one. Tim, these guys, they hung out with you, looked like most of that time. Talk to me about the Duke Bandit connection. How did you guys hook up with the Dukes?
Well, I mean, pretty much, if you like Smokey and the Bandit, you like Dukes of Hazzard. Dukes of Hazzard was wrote from Smokey and the Bandit. All he did was change a couple key things. Smokey and the Bandit, we had Coors beer, which was illegal. Dukes of Hazzard decided to use moonshine.
Moonshine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You had a.
And I tell you something, I'm going to give away the fact that I'm a city guy. You know, I had never watched the Dukes of Hazzard. I never, not one episode, had no idea what they were. And, you know, Amelia, I'm sure you did.
Oh, yes, I did.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure.
For some reason, they thought fast cars, good-looking, handsome guys, and a cute girl would work. I don't know.
It seems to be the connection is the cars.
Right.
So much so that I want to play a clip here, and maybe we can get Tim and Sean to comment on this. I don't know, Jason, if you were involved in this. Let's take a look at this. By the way, we're looking at the Danny Coker, the infamous Count from Count's Cars. You can see that it's a great car show. I love that show.
Oh yeah.
So tell me, how did you guys hook up with Danny Coker?
So Danny and Gene Kennedy from Bandit Movie Cars got in touch with each other, and so working with Burt and Gene back in the day. So in 2013, we kind of fast forwarded, but in 2013, Gene Kennedy called me and said, "Can you come and work as a lookalike for Burt Reynolds?" And I would go to the shows with Burt. And I would drive the cars and do the stuff for Burt while Burt was in makeup and getting hair done and stuff like that. Then he would later come out and sign autographs and spend time with the fans. Well, he had signed on to have some of his cars auctioned off at Barrett Jackson that weekend. So we had all the cars there. Danny drove the Bandit car across the stage that weekend, and I drove the Hooper car across the stage that weekend. And that's how that all came about. So we were all there getting ready to take off. We had the Storage Wars guys there, Dan and Laura. I don't know if you saw them in the photo there. But so that's where that all came about. We were in Las Vegas.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love Vegas. I lived in Vegas for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this.
Keep it wound up to round 90.
And that's Frog dumping Junior's ass and hitching a ride with the Bandit. So, oh, I'm sorry, Amelia. Were you finished with your questions?
Yeah, I was finished. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was just saying, poor Junior.
We have a question from the chat room. The guy in the chat room wants to know, where's Sheriff Branford?
He's had a little tall on radio.
Exactly. Sheriff Branford, by the way, was the tall black gentleman. I believe he was. What was that? Georgia? Is that where he was? Georgia. Okay.
County, Arkansas.
Okay, right.
Arkansas. He was
Arkansas. That's right. Like Little Rock or someplace, right? We're going to take a look at, and I'm going to do this here. We're going to take a look at this the classic scene, done brilliantly, by the way, by Sean Bailey and Tim Phillips. If you don't know the Diablo sandwich routine, you got to see it. You got to witness it. Jackie Gleason was brilliant, but if barring Jackie, and he's not here anymore, God rest him, but Sean Bailey still is, by God, and so is Tim Phillips. Let's take a look at the Diablo sandwich.
I have some cheeseburgers to go with a glass iced tea.
Yeah, okay.
I'll show you, man.
$1.50.
There you go. Keep the change.
Thank you.
Just keep your eye out for that bandit. Let me have a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper and make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry. You want something? We got no time for that crap.
Diablo, Doc.
Take your night, lady.
You're welcome.
You must be in a hell of a hurry, huh, Sheriff?
You got your ass on that, boy.
You get there. You got a mess there. Wait for an officer.
Much fire.
Who are you chasing? Somebody chasing you?
Nobody chasing me, boy. I'm chasing a goddamn maniac. I'm all the way from Texarkana, all the way to here.
What is it? Bank robber?
Bank robber? Bank robbing baby shit compared to what this dude was doing. Almost killed 20 law officers, driving through people's backyards, knocking down mailboxes, got a broad in the car, took her across state lines, and that's a manhunt. And I don't think he's got a permission. And that's kidnapping. How's that for hijinks? Hello.
Oh, no. Let me pay for it. Your officer's law.
Much obliged. Thank you.
Thank you.
Where's the can? I gotta take a swim.
Right back there.
One of the largest grossing movies of its time. And now to honor the film's big milestone, the city of Jonesboro is hosting an anniversary celebration. Much of the movie was filmed around Jonesboro. Today's events included reenactments of famous scenes, an official showing of the movie, and a question and answer session with Burt Reynolds and fellow cast member Susie Ewing. The event continues through tomorrow with even more in store.
Tomorrow we have a big festival starting at 11 o'clock with musical acts all day long. A Burt Reynolds lookalike contest. We just have a lot going on. So if you are anywhere, if you're not in Jonesboro right now, Jonesboro, Georgia, it's the place to be.
We'll see Burt Reynolds showing up for that. The event also features the 11th annual Bandit Run. More than 250 cars, primarily Pontiac Trans Ams, will roll into the area for attendees to enjoy. Looks like a good.
So how did that come about, you guys?
The
Tim,
last
you want
part?
to take that one?
Yeah, so that was the 40th anniversary of Smokey the Bandit that they filmed in Jonesboro, Georgia. So the Bandit Run came to Georgia for the 40th anniversary. Burt was actually there. And so he's underneath the tent watching me to reenact that scene where we go around the snowman truck to pick up the beer. And so that was one of the probably most memorable days I'll ever have in my life, working with Burt and doing that scene for him. And I actually drove his Trans Am in that scene.
Well, it's funny you say that because the next clip that's up is, I call this Tim Phillips Tribute to Burt. Let's take a look.
Call you the bandit. Outlaw on the chain. Shackled from the Latino. much too hard. Bandit, you're the joker in the deal of the cards. You're a legend to the old men, a hero to the child. Bandit, steal a lady's heart with only a smile. They call you the bandit. They call you the bandit. They call you the bandit. They call you the bandit.
Tim, was it difficult watching Burt grow old?
Well, knowing him back in 2006 and then watching him later on, it was tough because you feel like you're slipping away. His mind was always there, and his humor was there, and his wit was there. But I'm having to help him a little more get to these shows and stuff. I see what you did there with that video. Now you're trying to make me cry on one of these talk shows like Oprah.
Well, I'll tell you why I did that. There's no better or more fitting way to pay tribute to the film Smokey and the Bandit or Burt Reynolds himself than just to get in a car and take a drive. I mean, that's the essence of the movie, was the open road, really. Correct. I mean, the beer was just subtext, but it was a guy loving his car in the road and a nice chick next to him.
Definitely get in that car and take off. You feel the freedom that America's built on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
How many people have been in a situation where they've had a bad day at work or a bad day at home and some stuff went on that is out of their control, but they get in the car and take a drive and it just chills everything out.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, on that note, we'll be right back. Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com. And the Lawnmower 3.0, your balls will thank you. And so will we.
My phone's rebooting.
By the way, Amelia, that's Sean Bailey. Long time ago. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this after this clip. Sean, is that you?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. He's relaxing.
That was Smokey the Bandit 3.
He's gonna cuss me out for saying this is him or it's him. So let's check. Another tribute to Smokey and the Bandit. Let's talk about some of the vehicles used in this traveling road show. Jason, I'm going to bring you up here. You've been too quiet for too long. I'm going to bring you up here. Let's talk about this 18-wheeler. Does this truck travel with you guys?
There's a couple different ones that get used for different shows. People that we know that own them. Just depending on location of which truck that we use, depending on the show.
That's interesting. It's really interesting that you say that. Tim, Sean, that's an almost identical replica of the truck used in the movie. Where you don't just come upon a truck like that, right?
No, it's owned, but both of the trucks that we go to are our go-to snowman trucks. They are they're super fans like we are. So they have Wayne. His truck is probably as close as you can get. There's probably 4 or 5 trucks that have the snowman scheme and everything. But Wayne's is really nice. We enjoy having Wayne out at our shows. But he is just a big Smokey the Bandit fan, and his truck was even featured on Gas Monkey Garage when Richard Rawlings done the Smokey and the Bandit type episode, and Richard played the Bandit, and they used Wayne's truck for a couple of the scenes in the TV show.
Interesting stuff. Remarkable that this film has spawned an entire industry of memorabilia. Question for you guys. Do you own any of the film's original memorabilia?
I wish.
Do you, Tim?
I wish.
I have several pieces that are from that era. Actual stuff from Smokey and the Bandit. I can't think if I have any. I have, like I said, I have same jacket and stuff that's on the wall here behind me. I do have the original Stroker Ace jacket on the wall that I got.
Now, Tim, is that those jackets that were worn by Bert?
The Stroker Ace jacket was worn by Bert in the movie Stroker Ace. Now,
so that was his actual jacket. Okay.
Correct.
Wow, beautiful.
I do have the black shirt with the roses that he gave me out of the closet. I don't know if it's the one from the movie, but there it is.
I know that shirt. Oh boy, I don't want to.
Smokey the Bandit Part 2, and then and then several. I had several Bert's clothes. How I knew how little. Bert was bigger than life. So when I first met him, I was surprised that he was, more my height, 5'10", in that situation. And when he put the cowboy boots on, he was 6 foot. So I didn't think, ever think of playing Bert, because when I seen him in movies, he was, 6'7" and bulletproof to me,
Yeah, sure.
So every movie portrayed him as a sex symbol and a big, tall, burly guy. He was the only character that he could be sexy and dangerous at the same time. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That was his
absolutely beautiful.
Big draw.
I watched a show recently called Bandit. It's an old documentary, and I watched a lot of that in preparation for the show. How much is the Hal Needham influence seen on your road show?
I'd say with Bert, he dressed like Hal. Hal was the first person to dress like you seen in that show, The Bandit. Hal was the first person to wear, to me, what I call a village people look, where it was almost over the top for a guy to wear girls type clothes. Bert's actually wearing women's pants in Smokey and the Bandit. A little secret out there.
I'm glad you said that, because I heard that and I didn't believe it.
Yeah, because I asked, because I'm trying to get as accurate when I'm talking with Bert and working with Bert. I'm trying to get as accurate as he was back then. If you've seen those pictures, I lost from 193 down to 173 and thought I was perfect Burt weight. And
well,
so
I'll tell you what. It's funny you say that because in that film clip that we saw, of the news clip that we saw, your face was a lot heavier in that news clip.
Correct. So
yeah, it sure was.
When they first asked me to start doing it, when Bud Brunsman and them asked me to start doing it, I said, well, let me lose a little weight and get into Burt weight. So I thought Burt, probably looking at the movie, because Cameron puts on so much weight, I thought, well, he probably weighs around 173. I lose the weight, go to the 40th anniversary to do the show for him, and I get over and sitting with him, and I told him how I hated losing the weight because I had to cut out my breads and my sweet tea and everything. And he goes, well, how much do you weigh? And I said, 173. He looked at me and said, I weighed 152 pounds when I filmed Smokey the Bandit.
Wow.
So he had gotten sick
thin.
filming the movie before that. Yeah, he had gotten sick. If you go back now and look, you can really see it when he gets out of the car at Unicoi and where he kisses Frog. You really see how small he actually was.
Gee, brother, my leg weighs 150. Holy shit.
So yeah, it was a trick to get down to that, because that's weight that you weren't ready for. And the only reason he lost that weight is because he got sick. He got hypoglycemic from filming Nickelodeon, the movie before that. He started out Nickelodeon around 73, and then by the end of it, he's 150.
Yeah.
So
that I knew. Sean, I'm going to bring you back up here. What's next for Sheriff Buford T. Justice? Where you go now?
Let's see. We've got Owensboro Bluegrass Legends Experience. That's
where the hell is
Owensboro, Kentucky.
Where is that?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Owensboro, Kentucky.
Bless you, brother.
The Bluegrass Blues Brothers Band. No, that's a different movie. No,
exactly.
They're doing a kickoff to the Snowman Run, which is very similar to the Bandit Run, and we have been asked to come in and help kick off the Snowman Run.
Beautiful.
And that's in Owensboro, Kentucky. So that'll be a lot of fun. Then we head to Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, and do a Comic-Con with Little Enos, Paul Williams. And
beautiful.
We'll be up in Buckner, Missouri to do Wayne Stock, KC Wayne Stock. That is a music festival, car show, and raising funds and for a good cause. So it's a good show there. It's a friend of ours that puts this on, and for the past 3 years, we've always said that we were going to make an appearance there and be a part of the show, and we end up getting booked that weekend for another show. So last year, we blocked out this date so we could make an appearance there and be a part of Wayne Stock, and really looking forward to that. Then we head back to Kentucky, Albany, Kentucky, for the Foothills Festival that we will be returning to for the second year. So,
well, let me ask you the magic question then. When does Eastbound and Down come Eastbound and Down?
We
there's a whole country over here.
Eastbound.
Well, there's a whole world over here of Smokey fans on the East Coast. New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, up and down the Eastern Seaboard here that love this film, and we don't have access to you guys. So, Tim,
all we need is an event. Have them contact us, banditandbuford.com.
You got it.
BufordandJunior.com. Either way, it gets you to us, and put in that request, and
let's do it. All right.
We will see if we can come together and make things happen.
I will put my pedal to the metal and my thing to the floor. Okay.
Especially here in Florida, too. Absolutely.
Jason Bobbitt. Jason Bobbitt, what is next for you, my friend?
Same thing, Owensboro. Can't wait for the next show. talking about it. We a lot of things go into these shows. So
Jason is living his character. He's the silent. Nah, it's all good,
yeah, I
man.
was. I never didn't have the background of acting or anything like that. It was.
You're
just
learning on the fly, brother. You're learning on the fly.
pretty
Absolutely.
much every day's a new experience. So loving the journey so far. It's
You
great.
got two great teachers there. Just absorb, be a sponge.
Yes,
Like
both.
my acting teacher told me, be a sponge.
Yeah,
Absorb.
both Tim and Sean are both. They're both my heroes. So
Beautiful. Well, I'll tell
Your
you what,
barrel
we're
of
going to
monkey
bring up
nuts.
the bandit himself. Tim Phillips, what's next for the bandit, Tim?
Well, I just go from place to place and do what I do best. Go off.
What's that?
Break hearts and kiss girls. I know, right?
It's a tough life. It's a tough life. Yeah.
Hey, somebody got to do it, right?
Right. It's tough playing the bandit sometimes. These girls, they want you to judge their bikini contest, and it's crazy. Crazy.
A programming note tomorrow night, Becoming Paul. What it's like to be America's #1 Paul McCartney lookalike. He will join us tomorrow night, Phil Shafran of the Fab Lads. He will be here tomorrow night to talk about becoming Paul McCartney. Next week, a very, very special series of shows. We have 2 nights of riveting, compelling biblical drama. The Shroud of Turin. If you do not know it, look it up. The Shroud of Turin. That will be our subject for 2 straight nights. 2 very special nights of 2-hour shows. Amelia, what else we have coming up?
Actually, you're going to be on vacation for a little bit.
Yeah, but don't tell nobody where.
So,
When I come back from vacay,
Sheriff Justice
we're
can go
going to
get you.
talk about, I'll tell you what, though, I'm glad it's a good segue, though. When we come back from vacay, we are going to talk about what really happened to the Titanic. Did it, in fact, sink? Or was that the sister ship, the Olympic? New information is coming out that says, perhaps, the Titanic is still with us, and many believe they know exactly where it's at. I'm not going to tip the hat. Watch the show. But in the meantime, for Sean Bailey, for Tim Phillips, and for Jason Bobbitt, I am the MadDog, Angelo DeCipio, for Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. Thanks for joining us. Join us tomorrow night on What's the Buzz, America's Best Popcast. Take care, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.